So sorry about that, technical issues. So sorry, Kris.
No
Um,
problem.
um, I know we missed some of it, but we'll figure it out. I can't remember where,
Soldier on.
huh?
We'll soldier on.
Yes, yeah. Well, and what I was thinking when you were talking was to have the right people around you is really important. To have people smarter than you that have been through what you're kind of going through now with your business. And I mean, honestly, I can think a lot of people offhand that I network with that really, I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong with their business, but if they're truly serious about growing, then, that I hope they understand that it's important to have a coach, um, because you just get so much insight
Hmm.
from others than if you're just doing it on your own. And I mean, my family's been super supportive and great. I call my husband the silent partner, but he's not into the networking. He doesn't do any of that. He will help me physically with the business, but other than that, that's his part. And it really it doesn't bother me one bit. But I've seen a lot of the mistakes that I've made, the stupid amount of money I've spent on stupid stuff that um if I had that mentor that would say, please don't do this, just stop, just stop. So I think it's really important to have that coaching and those type of people around you. I've seen where it's changed me, and anybody who's listening to this podcast that knows the past 2 years, I think I've grown quite a bit, maybe not with a crew, but my business has really grown. And so now the point comes is, how big do I want to go? You do have some people who are like, I just want to do what I'm doing, go home, drink a beer, and this is it. And they're really happy with the amount that they bring home and what they do. They don't want a big business. I do. I do, because I look at having a big company as my way of helping other people, right? I have a guy that works with me who's homeless, and I want him to have, for lack of better words, I want him to have fuck you money. I want him to be able to go get a house and a car and go do whatever he wants to do. And I want to build him up to, him running this business and being management in my company. And so I hope he stays with me that long, but that's what I see. The more I grow is the more people I get to help. And I definitely know that if I'm going to get there, I better work on my foundation, because I can't go in winging it. It's not going to work. I need a systems and procedures and process. And I mean, you look at any big company, that's what they've got, you know.
Yeah, and I think that there are two things that come of that. Number one, I think being a solopreneur is the most dangerous job on earth, because if anything happens to you, you don't have the ability to earn income. You don't have the ability to collect disability, unemployment, any of that kind of stuff, because you've chosen. So yes, you've given yourself the opportunity to make as much as you want to make based
Mm-hmm.
upon what you do, but you also give yourself the agony of defeat, which means you could be homeless and broke. And anything that requires me personally in order to make it work long term, and it's the only way to do it, is not safe. And that's step number one. um I think the other thing that's really important when you talk about coaching, like, in order to hire me as a coach or to be a part of my mastermind, it costs you less than a McDonald's employee for a year, right? And my job is not to give you answers. Although a lot of people that coach, that's exactly what they do. Ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. I feel good because I pontificated on myself and shown you how smart I am. You, again, that's akin to ask for a fish, I'll give you a fish.
Mm-hmm.
What I consider to be coaching is I know how to ask the right questions. What's that worth to you?
Mm-hmm.
You got 8 million questions you can ask, and I'm going to give you the 10 by getting to know you that you should think about right now based upon where you are, that you'll come to your own conclusion, create your own system, be owner of it, so that if you never decide you want to work with me again, you can take that knowledge and still build it in any industry that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So a good coach will not give you the answers. Sometimes they will.
Yeah.
A good coach, a great coach will ask you better questions so that you can learn how to ask better questions yourself, because answers are everywhere nowadays, Michelle. They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But if you're not learning how to ask the better questions, you're going to get the same answer no matter what you do, and you'll find yourself stuck. And that's exactly what happened to me. So, am I willing to trade? I mean, I have employees. So, am I willing to trade the cost of an employee to learn how to ask better questions? Yes, I have, because what I found for me personally is that I was, by hiring high level coaches, I was able to accomplish in 2 years what I could not do in 20. So it had
Wow.
nothing to do with my effort, had
Yeah.
nothing to do with my effort. I gave what I did in my coaching the same effort that I gave building my business, but the results are drastically different because they helped me bypass 1,000 questions that I probably never would have searched for the answers for anyway. They were just a smoke screen to keep me doing what I was doing, so I felt comfortable. And once I realized that that's what good coaching can do for you, I naturally stepped up to the plate, stepped up and swung. And if I strike out, I strike out. If I get a
Mm-hmm.
base hit, I get a base hit. And if I get a walk, I get a walk. But now I'm playing baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Before, the way that I was doing it felt like I was playing stickball beside the field where everybody played real baseball, and I was calling it running a business. No, I wasn't running a business. I was running a short rope to my death.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I had the energy to do it, but I'm 48 now. I don't want to do it the hard way anymore.
Yeah.
And I do understand that everything's going to be hard. I'm just going to get better. And I think letting that go. And that's been really interesting because we have two 20-year-old kids and an 18-year-old kid. And one of my 20-year-olds, he's besought by all this Instagram fame and Facebook fame and seeing these 20-year-olds become billionaires. And man, his dreams are so big, but he doesn't want to do the foundational work yet that's
Yeah.
required in order to succeed. I meet a lot of entrepreneurs that are in their 30s and even in their 40s. Nah, they don't want to do the real work.
Yeah.
They want to live the highlight reel. Then you deserve exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Because when you put in the real work, the foundational work that is required to find success in one area of your life,
Yeah.
it literally is applicable to the other 3 major pillars of life so that you can have something called happiness.
Yeah.
There is no amount of money that makes me happy. I've defined what makes me happy, and that's my life. It could end today. It could end in 50 years. But if I can start stacking up day after day after day of what I call happiness, that means I've lived a happy life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us, especially in the Western world, are so go, 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 go,
Yeah.
go, that we end up being a part of this machine and we don't know what truly makes our life experience joyful.
Yeah.
And because of that, we live in the past or we live in the future, and very seldomly do we live in the present. And I know, because of the kind of industry that you're in, similar to mine, a lot of physical labor,
Yeah.
that one of the joys is when you're lifting a 200-pound refrigerator by yourself, you're
Yeah.
in the moment.
Yeah.
You're in the moment. You cannot be in the future. You cannot be in the past. Well, I think that's beautiful. What if you take that away from you,
Mm-hmm.
allow someone else to be in the moment in that position, and then you start going, man, I don't feel like I'm in the moment anymore. You're
Mm-hmm.
right. Why not, instead of focusing it on working in the business, we learn to help you live in the moment by working on your business? You
Mm-hmm.
find the joy now of setting up a strategy for everyone to win. And that's what I talk about. And they're key principles. And if you plant those seeds in the ground and you don't eat them before they harvest,
Mm-hmm.
Bounty is a beautiful thing, and it doesn't take you nearly as long to do it as you would think. And the reason we fool ourselves is because, like, wait, I've been doing this for 6 or 8 years. It's really, really hard. If I change, it's going to take a no, it's not. You were doing something the worst way possible,
Yeah.
Kris. I'm talking about you. You
Yeah.
were doing something the worst way possible and you were surviving.
Yeah.
What would happen if you start doing it the best way possible? Could you thrive? And what I found is, oh, yeah, I went from owning one company to five
Yeah.
in the space of 3 years just
Well,
by putting, so it works in every industry.
yeah, and for me, uh, you know, I think I do a lot of work. Am I doing correct work? Am I doing the work that's going to get me somewhere? No, because otherwise I'd be there already. So I know I'm
Mm,
busy, right? And I know I'm busy, but I also know that um busy doesn't get me anywhere. Focusing on the goals and the, again, for me, the writing down the process, the procedures, instead of just winging everything, that's going to make a huge difference. Why am I not doing it? Probably because I'm lazy. And it's like, eat, what do they say, eat the frog first, right? uh and so that's when I've realized,
mm,
here I am working on getting out of my comfort zone. Well, this is another part of my comfort zone. I don't like it, but you know when I remember when I was with my first late husband, I had to take care of him and his mom and raise our son and mow the yard and take care of the house. And I remember there was a time that I had to mow the yard, and I kept putting it off, kept putting it off. I mean, I put it off for like 2 or 3 weeks. And all I did during that time was constantly think of mowing the stupid yard. And when I finally got out there and did it and mowed it, I didn't think about it again until it was time. And here I am, wasted 3 weeks of stupid energy because I didn't want to do the job to begin with. And it just caused, not only did it cause more anxiety and more problems, my daggum yard was tall. And now it caused me more work physically because I had to mow it like twice. So that's what I try and tell myself, right? Is if I would focus on this job at hand, this job that I don't want to do, that I don't like, if I would do it now, I don't have to think about it anymore and it'd be done. But the continue to play with it like a little dog and his toy, it's not working, right? It's obviously not working. So that's what I've learned a lot from you as well is, stop playing with the toys and do what you need to do with them, right? And like what you were saying earlier, it reminds me of that movie I, Robot.
mm.
When he was trying to talk to the guy in that, I don't know, whatever thing he had, and he turned it on, and there was a, like a vision of him, and the guy goes, "Look, you have to ask the right questions." He couldn't answer any question. He had to ask it correctly. And so I think about that scene all the time. What questions are you asking? Are you asking the right ones? And you don't know what you don't know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But these people in these masterminds do know, because they've already been there. They've already gone through that crap and are successful. And people like you that own, 5, 6, 7 companies, it's because you've already done the work and you've already been in the trenches, and did the fight. And you're like, okay, this doesn't work here. So if we share this with people, we can save them so much time and money. And how valuable is that right there? How much is that
Yeah.
time and that money valuable to you? Where, and people don't understand, that's the importance of coaching, is that's what you get out of it. You get your time and your sanity and your stress and your money, where it's not just spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that you don't have, and the aggravation of this taking you 20 years to figure it out, when if you would just stop and listen and hire the right people to help build you up, to help build your business up, and then listen to them. It's really, I've learned life is super simple. We complicate it, and I am definitely an
Course.
overthinker, and I've got to work on that too. But
And I think what's really important is and you said this earlier, and I'll shorten it, but the success that you want is in the work you're unwilling to do.
Yeah.
And the reason I talk like that and I write like that is I had a grandfather that made it to the ninth grade. He died a multimillionaire. No, excuse me, he made it to the ninth grade. He was a Depression era baby. He had a lot of common sense, not a lot of book sense. And I don't think that I had a lot of common sense growing up. But as I've gotten older, it's that horse sense, that common sense that gives me the freedom. Like right now, today, no one needs to have an how-to. If they were to listen to this, you see, you put this out there and people listen to it. I want you to hear this. The success you want is in the work you're unwilling to do.
Yep.
If you just take that one thing, sit back and ask yourself this question: what is it that I am unwilling to do? Where do I feel in my body when I go, uh, uh? I
Yeah.
know even today, this last week, it'll probably happen again this week. There are plenty of things that I'm going to go, all right, it's on my, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I put it off. So it's like you talked about swallowing the frog. What I've learned to do, not all the time, I still mess up every once in a while, but what I've learned to do is I do the things that I don't want to do first.
Yeah.
I front load it. I get it out of the way while I have the most energy. And then I do the easier things afterward. And what do I find? Well, I don't really think about success. I don't really think about, am I going to do it? I just do this work, and the success in 30, 60, 90 days starts showing up because those are the seeds that I'm planting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like you said, so many people are overthinking all the time
Yeah.
that they don't ask themselves something simple. You don't need a coach for this. The success you want is in the work you're avoiding. Write it down on a piece of paper, all the to-dos that must be done only by you.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them. If you had to focus on just 5 of those things today, you only get to accomplish 5. Which ones are going to move your business forward the most,
Mm-hmm.
are critical in order to operate tomorrow, and at the end of the day will not leave you with that nagging feeling that you're talking about of going, oh, I really should be doing this, but I'm going to put it off and I'll do it tomorrow. And you do that for 3 weeks. If
Yep.
you can focus on your critical task list every day and just put the 5 most important ones down that either help you move toward or away from the feelings I just described, you will find yourself in 90 to 180 days having levels of success that you've never experienced. But people, we want to complicate it. Why? Because the gurus out there tell us, they don't say that it's complicated. In fact, they say the opposite. But behind the scenes, what we're watching is complicated.
Yeah.
It's no different than if people are paying attention on the social medias now. It's do as I tell you to do, don't do as you see me doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're wise enough to see that, you're now awoken. If you are awoken, my true bottom of my heart wish for you is this: slow down, be still on the inside, realize that that's not your circus and it's not your monkeys,
Yep.
and that you can choose the 5 things that you must do today to create a happy experience. Because everybody talks about wanting money. Everybody talks about wanting the cars. They want the jets. They want the house. They want the stuff. At the end of the day, you don't want stuff. You know what you want? The way the stuff makes you feel, or you
Yeah.
think it's going to make you feel.
Yeah.
So why not bypass the stuff and get to the feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Because what I know is this: once you can create that happiness for yourself, you're putting a vibrational frequency out into the universe that's what you want more of. And guess what? You start seeing more opportunities that will create more of what? Happiness
Yeah.
And that's how there are people that have wonderful lives that don't have all the stuff. That's how people that have wonderful lives do have all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point
Yeah.
is that you don't know that you're going to be here even after this phone call.
Yeah.
Are you going to waste one more minute of your life lamenting over shit that doesn't matter?
Yeah.
And most of us are reinforced by social media, by media in general, that we don't have something. And because we don't have something, we're not complete. And because we're not complete, we're not happy. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, it's a rat race that is meant for one group of people to win only. And guess what? It ain't you.
Yeah.
So you got to learn to play by different rules.
Yeah.
And those rules are hard. They're hard to learn mainly because most of us by the age of 7 to 10, those rules are firmly implanted in us and we don't see another reality. That's why we as entrepreneurs are having these calls on podcasts. It's to kind of say, hey, everybody, there's a different way to live if you want to. And hey, everybody, you don't have to do it by yourself. We're together over here. If it's for you, great. If it's not for you, great. There are 8 billion people in the world. I'm not trying to stab anybody into my business, into my group. I'm here to support people. And as I do, more customers show up. More employees show up.
Yeah.
But we have to have these systems in place so that everybody knows how to operate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, somebody might jump off the top floor of the roof. I mean, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And then it becomes important to do these things. And
Yeah.
so it becomes common sense, not book sense. And yes, book sense can help you, but not nearly as much is being still, taking it all in and going, what's the next most important thing for me to do? That's what I want to help people with.
Yeah.
What's the next most important thing for me to do?
Yeah. I love it. I was just writing something that I thought for my systems and processes, because I'm like, if I would just, I don't have to sit down and come up with everything right away. Do it while I'm driving and talking to my phone or something if I think of something, you know. And that's what I want to share with the audience is, you know, don't feel like you have to sit down and go, okay, what are my systems and I have to think. What do I do? Just write it down as you go along. I mean, it doesn't have to be written today. You probably haven't had it for years anyway. So you're good. Just get started on it now. And that's what I'm starting to do is I've realized if I would start, like you said, just start doing the stuff I don't like early in the morning. I wake up early enough to get this stuff done. Then the rest of the day is easy peasy, you know, and I don't have to think about it anymore. And I don't have to go, man, I'm not doing what I know I need to be doing. I'm slacking and, you know, feeling like crap that I'm slacking. And I want to be financially successful. I feel in most other areas of my life, I feel pretty successful. Financially, I do want more. Does money make me happy? No, but it provides the things that I want to do for my family, right? I want my husband to have a Corvette. I don't want him to have to work anymore. That's what it provides. And it makes not only me happy, it makes him happy, and it makes our family happy. So, I mean, it does provide that, you know? And so those are my goals. And I'm not going to stop there, you know? And my kind of, I don't know, joke is I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing until I'm dead. So either I'm going to succeed or I'm going to die. One of the two is coming first. Don't know. I don't. Yeah. And so I've come to that conclusion, and I think my husband is starting to figure that out because, you know, he's like, you know, I want to retire in a couple of years. And I'm like, I don't, you know, I love what I do. And I want to help more people. And I keep coming up with ideas, which is my problem. I'm like, oh, you know, just stop, just write it down and put it over here right now. You've got too much on your plate. But I think, you know, I really think the purpose of life is just really to help others. And that doesn't mean you don't make money. It doesn't mean you have to do everything for free. It just means there are ways to help people, you know, and you know, when I really want to help my community, I volunteer, you know, I give them free work. But there's also things I'm helping my customers become stress-free by hauling off their junk. And I can't I can't do that for free. I have expenses. So, but I still get to help my customers. I get to help something that's extremely overwhelming and, and frustrating. And so I see the same thing with you, and not only with your remodeling company, but with your coaching. And I just think you're an amazing person, an amazing coach. And, I never hear anything derogatory. It's always building people up. It's always what you do. If this is what you're struggling, this, like you said, why do you think you're doing this? But what I really like about you is there's no excuses either. I don't want to hear that you had to go feed the dog. Okay, that's good. You had 2 minutes to feed the dog. It doesn't take that long. Now get back and do what you need to do, right? Stay focused. So, you're really on it. And I love that. There's no I remember one time you were like, you have to post a video every day. And I'm like, oh crap, man, what the heck am I going to talk about? And I did it. I don't even remember what I did, but I did it. And so I see the continuation, the growth that I continue to do. The classes I take with these, this other place that helps me. Everything I'm doing is working on getting out of my comfort zone, because I don't want to be comfortable anymore. And like you said, if I've gotten hurt, I did have to shut my business down for 6 months the first time, and I didn't have a crew. It literally shut down. And the second time, it was 2 years later for 4 months. And so, although I made it, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to have to be that worried about that situation. I do want it where I have people working in my business, because that helps them too. I'm
Yep.
helping the people that come work for me by building them up and giving them a place to work, and not just a place, a great place, a fun place, one that we want to build you up to be leaders as well. So I love everything that you've done. I think you're just an amazing person, and I think you're just definitely an amazing coach. And I love being connected with you on social media, because I get to see all the stuff that you write. So it's just amazing.
I appreciate it. And, if anybody wants to follow along, I'm Kris Whitehead Official on Instagram. We've got 33,000 plus people following there. I'm the Kris Whitehead, and it's Kris Whitehead on Facebook. You can go to Amazon and pick up a copy of my book. It's cheap coaching. It's $10. And it's a #1 best-selling book, How to Make Today's Ceiling Tomorrow's Floor, Becoming Iconic. And we do have a mastermind group, and it is full of, and we vet. So, this is not a, hey, I'm willing to take your money. No, we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to find out who you are, what your goals are, where you are in business. To me, it's not a very expensive mastermind for the value that's offered there. But at the same time, like you, I made a decision a long time ago that, yes, I wanted the stuff too. But you know what? That's not going to stop me from being a better human being.
Right.
That I don't have it yet. I'm not going to wait to be good to people once I'm there. Wherever there is, I'm still not
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And so I just said, you know what? I really enjoy encouraging people, because I really have wanted to be encouraged in my life. And the few times that I've really felt encouragement from other people, sometimes those times have come when I needed it the most. Sometimes I didn't even realize what they were breathing into me.
Hmm.
But I look back years later and I'm like, it's almost like an angel visited me. Someone came and said the right thing at the right time, and it just was a seed and it had to grow. I like being that kind of person, and nothing is going to stop me from that. I get to eat food every day. I get to go to sleep every night.
Hmm.
I'm not living in a place where I'm worried about, physical harm.
Yeah.
I'm living all right.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think it's important for me to be part of the side of the equation that makes the world a better place. And that's just a fundamental choice. And it's not, the world being a better place means that it doesn't revolve around Kris Whitehead.
Yeah.
I'm one amongst billions of people.
Yeah.
And I'm just one voice. And I encourage other people to become that voice too. So like when you did that challenge, the video challenge, it was meant not for what you said, because look, you don't even remember what you said.
Yeah,
I've done
yeah.
thousands of videos and I have no idea what I've said anymore. It's the point that you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the point that you're out there and you're speaking and you're sharing. Because I don't know about you, but I can get on TikTok, I can get on Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media platform, and I can see the most ludicrous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can get on social media and truly create it to be a photo, a video, a meme, a whatever, one after another of what I've chosen my life to look like. And I'm telling you, my social media feed doesn't have crap on it.
Yeah.
It has people like you, people like me, people that are lifting other people up and doing good service. So I'm grateful to be on your podcast, number one.
Awesome.
I'm really, really happy that you're moving forward the way that you are. And, you know, I'm always here to help you.
Yes.
And I'm always here to help anyone, even if it's just a conversation. It doesn't mean you have to come join my stuff and pay me money. That's the way life is for us. So thank you very much for having me, Michelle. Appreciate it.
Man, it's been an honor. I truly appreciate you being on here as well. And so I will also, when I post the podcast, I will add all the links in there so they can also get a hold of you that way. So it'll be easy for them. And hopefully anybody that needs to reach out to him, you definitely can reach out to me and I will connect you with him at any time. So I just wanted to say thank y'all for listening. I appreciate you. Sorry about the little technical difficulty. We'll get that fixed, hopefully. So probably not. I can't fix that one, but hey, we'll work harder on it. But thank you, Kris. Yeah, appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you too. I hope you have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.